Guten Morgen?
Guten Abend, Guten Tag, wherever you are. I have a very interesting video about the German language by Lang Focus YouTube channel. We're going to learn about, I think, the history of German language and maybe things that are going to help us to say more than Guten Morgen, Guten Abend, and Hallo. I think they say that in the Netherlands too, Hallo. Yes.
Hello.
So we're going to learn more word. Yes. So let's get started.
Let's get started.
Hi there.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Deutsch? No, sorry, I don't speak Dutch.
Deutsch?
Hello,
Deutschland.
language enthusiasts. Welcome to the Lang Focus channel, and my name is Paul. Today I'm going to talk about the German language. German is a very important language that deserves all of our attention. It is spoken by 95 million native speakers, mainly in Central Europe, but it's also spoken by an additional 10 to 15 million second language speakers, especially in Eastern Europe. It is the majority language and an official language in Germany, of course, but also Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and the South Tyrol region of northern Italy.
Wow, I know all of them except South Tyrol in Italy. I didn't know they speak German there.
So Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and the South Tyrol region of northern Italy. It's also an official language in Luxembourg and Belgium, but it's not a majority language there. German is the most widely spoken language in the European Union. It is also one of the most widely taught languages in the world, with between 75 and 100 million people having studied it as a foreign language.
Wow.
In both the United States and in Europe, it is the third most widely taught
Really?
foreign language. Did you know that 1/10 of the world's books are published in German? German is also the second most widely used scientific language. I know some doctors, and all of them have some reading knowledge of German because so much scientific research is documented in German. So are you starting to get an idea of why German is important? German is a member of the West Germanic language family, which also includes Dutch, Afrikaans, Frisian, English, and Yiddish. The
Wait,
West Germanic
English?
languages are part of the wider Germanic language
feel so
family.
stupid
So
now.
let's take language family. So let's take a look at the origins of the Germanic language family. Wait, actually, no, I did this in my last video, so I'm just gonna play that part again while I go get a coffee, and I'll be right back. All Germanic languages developed from Proto-Germanic, which was spoken around 500 BC.
Okay, North Germanic, Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, Icelandic, Faroese, West Germanic, Frisian, Dutch, German, and then East Germanic, Gothic.
African.
Afrikaan, it's in South Africa, right? It's a mix between Dutch, it's a mix of different language. Yeah, I think a lot of people who speak Dutch and German can understand Afrikaan.
Whoa.
It's in South Africa, right? Yeah. I don't know what Gothic is, though.
Gothic is Gothic.
Yeah, but what language is Gothic? We know the art Gothic, but what is the language
It's supposed to
Gothic?
be the same, right?
There's no language called Gothic that I know of. I didn't know that Frisian was so close to English. Is Frisian was the language like in Belgium or something, or around these countries? They have free
Proto-Germanic possibly originated in Scandinavia, and different varieties of Germanic
Proto-Germanic.
began to emerge with migration. Runic inscriptions from the 2nd century CE show us that by that time Proto-Germanic had began to separate into distinct Western, Eastern, and Northern dialects. Oh, sorry, are you guys waiting for me? Well, let's move on. The West Germanic dialects were probably closely related enough to be mutually intelligible until about the 8th century CE. But at that time, something was happening that would split the Germanic language family and give birth to the
That
German
means that
language.
all of these languages, including English, were like pretty much one language.
Yeah.
Or if they were not one language, it was like similar enough that you could understand each other.
As we know it today. That was the High Germanic sound shift, or the High Germanic consonantal shift. Some West Germanic varieties underwent a number of sound changes. 9 consonants changed, to be precise, and this created 2 distinct groups of Germanic dialects: High German, or Hochdeutsch, and Low German, or
Hochdeutsch?
Plattdeutsch. And
I'm
just out
so
of Inter-German,
stupid.
or Hochdeutsch, and Low German,
So High
or
German
Plattdeutsch.
is in the south, and Low German is on top. It's counterintuitive. Okay, now I understand. That's why in Switzerland they always say that they speak like High German kind of style because it's close. It's really close to it's below the blue, right?
And just out of interest, let me pronounce these words a different way.
Hochdeutsch.
High Deutsch and Flatdeutsch.
Flatdeutsch.
Maybe there's a connection with English. High German dialects arose in the southern areas of Germany, which are at a higher elevation. That's why they're called High German.
Oh!
Low German dialect
It's because it's in the mountain. They call it high. That's why.
Ah,
Okay. So okay. Because it's flat on the top. Okay.
Oh.
That's it.
Like here too.
Yeah.
You know, in the south of northeast, how do you say? South of Isan.
Yeah.
Near the border.
Yeah.
Cambodian, like
They call that South Isan.
no, just between the Khmer language, thing like that. The Cambodian people they call lower language, and the people who live in Thai side they call like high.
But is it because they are higher or no?
Yeah, because we are higher than
Higher in altitude or higher in the geography?
mountain.
Oh, it's because of the mountain?
Yeah, the
Oh,
altitude.
okay.
Is it like we are on top
Oh,
of them?
okay.
Like we look at them, they are below, thing like that.
Existed in the northern part of Germany at a lower elevation, and also in the Netherlands. These terms do not refer to high and low status, but rather to the elevation of the areas they were spoken in. High German can be further subdivided into two segments, Upper German and Central German. So what were the sound changes that took place? Well, let's take a look. These consonant changes took place in 3 stages. In the first stage, these consonants changed intervocalically. That means between vowel sounds. The P sound, the P, became a F. This T sound became a S. And the K sound became a Ch. Here's an example for the English word for sleep. In
Sleep.
Low German, it's
Slapen.
but in German, it's
Schlafen.
in the
Schlafen,
second stage, these
schlafen.
consonants changed at the beginning of a word and also in some other contexts, like if they are the second letter in a double consonant or after an L or an R.
But this is when people live together for long enough, this is gonna happen, right? Like in Canada, we were colonized by France, where I'm from in Montreal, like, I don't know, 400 years ago. I don't know exactly how many years ago. And the way that we speak French right now in Quebec, a lot of people in France, we can understand them, but they struggle to understand us speaking French because we have been isolated from other French-speaking countries for so long and surrounded by English around us that we have adjusted in those same stage that you see there. I would say that high and low German, it's probably as different as French from France and French from Montreal, probably. Like in Canada, in Montreal, we are called the Irish of French because of our accent when we speak French. We are called like the Scottish or the Irish when we speak French. But I think it's a little bit different than when you're
So
explaining.
the
But
sound
anyway,
P became Pf, like a P and an F together. The T sound became a Ts. It sounds like a TS sound,
Fa.
even though it's written with a Z. And the K sound became a K, like a K sound followed by Ch. Here's an example for the English word tame. In Lower German, it's
Tam.
but in High German, it's
Zam.
in the third stage, 3 more consonants changed. The B sound became a P. The D sound became a T. And the G sound became a K. Here's an example for the English word for day. In Lower German, it's
Ach.
but in High German, it's
Tag.
so
of these
when we say, so we could say Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
We say Guten Tag,
Guten
right?
Tag.
But we can say Guten Tag too.
Guten Tag.
We
in
could
Lower German, it's
say it
Tag.
technically.
but in High German, it's
Tag.
Now, all of these sound changes took place in Upper German in the south, but some of them didn't take place in Central German, and some of them didn't take place in Standard German. But we'll get to Standard German in a minute. So some of you might be thinking, well, how did these sounds just switch? Well, they didn't instantly switch. They gradually changed.
Yeah, it's people living together for a long time without having that much contact with others. Being like gentrified, and it
over a
creates
period of
like,
a few centuries, probably between the 5th century and 8th century CE. Over the centuries, the dialect continuum of Low German and High German grew more and more distinct until there were varieties that were quite incomprehensible. So someone from the south in Bavaria would have trouble communicating with someone from Hamburg in the north. But of
Yeah.
course, that was before Standard German. The dialects of Low German are often said to be a separate language from High German, and they're often said to be halfway between High German and Dutch. Now, the Low German dialect actually crosses the border into the eastern part of the Netherlands, where Low German is also spoken. But these days, the Low German dialects in the north of the country are mostly fading, and basically only older people speak them. Younger people might understand them, but they tend to use Standard
I'm wondering if people in North Germany understand Dutch more than they understand people from the south of Germany. Like from people from Bavaria or something, or people from
yeah,
Switzerland, for
sure.
example.
instead. But when did Standard German come into the picture? Standard German, which, by the way, is also called Hochdeutsch in German, so don't be confused between High German and Standard German, originated as a written literary language that developed over a few hundred years as writers tried to write in a way that would be understood by the largest number of people possible from different dialect areas. But perhaps the most important factor in the development of Standard
Look
German
good.
was the translation of the Bible into
What
German.
look good? You mean the book? Look cute?
Look like mysterious.
Yeah, but it was.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yeah.
By Martin Luther in the year 1522.
Oh,
He
Martin
based his
Luther.
translation on the Saxon dialect of Central German, while including some vocabulary from other dialects as well. Virtually all speakers of German dialects owned a copy of the New Bible and studied it, effectively popularizing this form of written German. Originally, there was no single way to pronounce this written form of German, but eventually the dialect of Hanover became the standard for pronunciation of Standard German. Standard German includes some of the sounds of the High German consonantal shift, but not all of them because it was influenced by the dialect of Hanover. So Standard German began as a written language, but as it became the language of education, it became more widespread as the formal spoken language of education. It became more widespread as the formal spoken language, and it also influenced the local dialects. Today, pretty much everyone can speak Standard German, even if they speak a local dialect casually, and many local dialects have become largely replaced by Standard German, especially the Low German dialects in the north of the country. But there are still some dialects that are quite distinct and still thriving, like the Bavarian dialect in the southeast. German is considered a pluricentric language. That means that
Pluricentric.
there are multiple standard varieties of the language. There is one standard language in Germany, one in Austria, and one in Switzerland. All of these standard varieties are pretty much the same except for some differing vocabulary. But of course, those are the standard languages. Switzerland and Austria, and also South Tyrol, which is related to Austria, have their own dialects as well. The Austrian dialects are related to the Bavarian dialects in southeast Germany, and the Swiss dialects are related to the Alemannic dialects in southwest Germany. Maybe you saw my video about the languages of Switzerland. It's this one right here. And in that video, I talked about how the Swiss German dialects are kind of incomprehensible to speakers of Standard German, unless they also speak an Alemannic dialect from the border area. But of course, that's talking about the Swiss German dialect. Swiss Germans can speak Standard German, even if they tend to use it less than people in Germany. Of course, they might pronounce Standard German with a different accent, but that's no big deal. In Austria and South Tyrol, the situation is similar. There are dialects that might be hard to understand for people from some other German-speaking countries, but of course, Standard German is the bridge. These countries are all part of the German Sprachraum,
Sprachraum.
which means the geographic area over which that language is spoken. And within that Sprachraum, Standard German is the Dachsprache.
Dachsprache.
That means
Das
the umbrella language under which all of those dialects can come together. Those two German terms I just used, Sprachraum and Dachsprache, are common linguistic terms, and I think that shows just how much influence the German language has over
What? Difficult?
I hate this. Where's the inside like a French? Oh, am I gonna be able to go to Germany
What?
if I cannot speak?
What, you think it look difficult like French?
Yeah, because the sound, like when you pronounce it,
Das Sprache? Sprachraum.
Can you do it again? I wanna hear.
common linguistic terms, and I think two German terms I just used, Sprachraum and Dachsprache, are common linguistic
Duck,
Sprachraum and Das Sprache.
duck,
The
Das
R, it's
Sprache.
hard for a Thai person to pronounce the R, yeah.
When it's you shoot
Yeah.
the throat.
terms, and I think that shows just how much influence the German language has over academic areas of research, like linguistics. So, what is the German language like? Well, it's closely related to English, which is obvious when we look at the most basic sentences. Here's an example. I buy books often.
Ich kaufe häufig Bücher. Ich kaufe häufig Bücher.
I kaufe auf Bücher.
Eat Käufe, Halfit, Beecher. See, this
Here
one
the
doesn't
word
need
order is
throat.
SVO, like in English, except that the adverb comes before the object instead of after it. Here's another example with
the
an
book
important
come at the
twist. I will buy the book today.
Ich werde das Buch heute kaufen. Ich werde
Ich
das Buch
werde das Buch
heute kaufen.
heute
this-
kaufen. No?
Ich werde
Wait.
Buch.
kaufen.
Twist. I will buy the book today.
Ich werde das Buch heute kaufen. Ich werde das Buch heute kaufen.
In this
Ich werde das Buch heute kaufen.
See, she's better than me. I told you were better than me.
case,
with
we see
language.
one of the most confusing things for learners of German, which is the placement of the second verb at the end of the sentence. So if there's a helping verb like will or
Werde,
it is in the normal SVO position, but the main
Werde,
verb goes at the end.
werde.
Another example, the book was interesting.
Yeah, but look, the word buy is at the end of the sentence. I buy book often. It's at the beginning. I buy often book. But look here, it's literally like I will the book today buy. I will the book today buy. So it's like it's like I will buy the book today, but it's in different order. But here the
Yeah.
order is kind of like I will often book. Yeah, it's
das Buch war interessant. Das Buch war interessant.
see this one. The order is the exact same. The book was interesting. So they have three different sentences with the word book, and the order is different in all three. The order is completely different. The third one is like the same order, but the other two are mixed order. The
And
order
one more
is
example,
mixed.
I like people who work hard.
Ich mag Menschen, die hart arbeiten. Ich mag Menschen,
Menschen, die
hart
hart
arbeiten.
Arbeiten.
Another thing that learners of German find challenging is the case system in German. In German, pronouns and nouns change form depending on their function in the sentence, but along with them, the articles and adjectives also change. Here's an example of German grammatical cases using the noun meaning table.
Der Tisch, den Tisch, des Tisches, dem Tische, die Tische, die Tische, der Tische, den Tischen.
You can see that the change takes place
You should not say that it's difficult. It's the same in Thai. What is it again? The different thing that you can say with different intonation? Suji's gonna say 5 things right now. It's all gonna sound the
I
same.
wanna share the
Look at
new
this.
word.
Say it. Egg. 5
Egg.
different things that only one of them mean egg.
ไข่ 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 ไข่
So only one of them mean egg.
This one mean egg. This one mean like some fat.
Some fat.
Yeah, ไข่ fat. ไข่ egg. ไข่ it mean when you have fever.
A fever.
Yeah. ไข่ I don't think it had any meaning. ไข่ it sound the same. Yeah, it sound the same.
And
but I don't
it's
think it had
written,
meaning too.
but it's written the same way, right?
Different.
Oh, it's written differently. So it's like this a little bit. Yeah.
not
Like it's
only
all
in
written
the noun,
differently.
but also in the definite article as well. The word for table is a masculine noun in German, but there are actually 3 genders in German. There are masculine nouns, feminine nouns, and neuter nouns, and for each of them, the case forms are different. And all of these different forms also apply to adjectives, which drives learners crazy. So while German is closely related to English, the devil is in the details. Even though most of the other Germanic languages are classified as Category 1 languages by the FSI, German is classified as Category 2. It's closely related to English, and they have a lot in common in terms of the general syntax
It means it's harder to learn than Swedish and
Yeah.
and vocabulary, but when it comes to the fine details of grammar, there are some challenges for learners. But as always, if you are interested in German-speaking cultures and countries, or if you would like to benefit from the widespread use of German, then don't hesitate to start learning. All challenges because anything, and let's discuss.
interesting. So it's difficult for you? I like the hysteria though. Now I know where I and low is. I is below, it's not above. It's because of the freaking mountain elevated. That's why it's called I and low German. Now I understand. I never know about that.
Yeah, I think the German is really difficult for me. Like when you greeting, like even now I still don't remember how to say it every time. When I just like gluten.
Well, it's a language that is very strong on the your expression when you speak, right? Like the tone that you say stuff, it's really
Yeah.
it's almost sound passionate when you speak. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, thing like that. That's why need to go there and try to live there. So gonna be able to learn.
Yes. Well, thank you for the amazing suggestion. If there's more video that we should react to, please let us know in the comment below. Yes. And see you very soon.